Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 6 articles for you in this episode. All the URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. This is all going to be about health and science and education here. So we'll get started with the first one. This is off of Newsmax, and it says, sworn to secrecy. Drugstores say the sworn to secrecy. Drugstores stay silent as customers overpay. Whole lot of S's in that. It says Pussy has to bite his tongue when customers at his pharmacy cough up co-payments far higher than the cost of their low-cost genetic drugs. Is getting them a good deal. Pussy's contracts with drug benefit managers at his Medicap pharmacy in Olympia, Pennsylvania, bar him from volunteering the fact that for many cheap generic medicines, copays sometimes are more expensive than if patients hadn't used insurance at all. The extra money, what the clawback, ends up with benefit companies, tells customers, ask. Some of them get fired up, he said. Some of them get angry at the whole system. Some of them don't even what we're telling them is accurate. Clawbacks, which can be as little as $2 a prescription or as much as $30, may boost profits by hundreds of millions for benefit managers and have profited at least 16 lawsuits since October. The legal cases, as well as dozens of receipts obtained by Bloomberg and interviews with more than a dozen pharmacists and industry consultants, show the growing importance of clawbacks. Crack cocaine, said Susan Haynes, a consultant with pharmacy outcomes specialist in Lake Zurich, Illinois. They just can't get enough. Arrive at a critical juncture in the quarter-century debate over how to make healthcare more affordable in America. President Donald Trump is promising to lower drug costs, saying the government should get better prices, and the pharmaceutical industry is getting away with murder. Care Management Association, their trade group, says it expects greater scrutiny over its role in the price of medicine and wants to make its case effectively. Accusations against insurers. United Health Group Incorporated, which owns Optimum RX, Cigna Corporation, which contracts with that manager, and Humana Incorporated, which runs its own. Accusations are defrauding patients through racketeering, breach of control, and violating insurance laws. Always charge our members the lowest amount outlined under their plan when filling. Healthcare spokesman Matthew Wiggins said in a statement, "We believe these lawsuits are without merit and will vigorously defend ourselves." Thus, a Humana spokesman, Matt Asensio, a Cigna spokesman, said the company doesn't comment on litigation. Patients should not have to pay more than a network drugstore's submitted charges. Charles Coate, a spokesman for the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, said in a statement, managers are influential middlemen. They process prescriptions for insurers and large employers that back their own plans. Are covered and negotiate with manufacturers on one end and pharmacies on the other. They have said their work keeps prices low, in part by pitting rival drug makers against one another to get better deals. The clawback works like this. A pharmacy and pays a co-payment amount, perhaps $10, agreed to by the pharmacy benefits manager, or PBM, who hired it. The reimbursed for the price of the drug, say $2, and possibly a small profit. The benefit manager claws back the remainder. Most patients never realize there's a cheaper cash price. Industry that most people don't know about, said Connecticut lawyer Craig Robb. People accusing the companies of defrauding them. The customer sees that guy go in, $10 copay for amoxicillin. That the PMB and the pharmacy have agreed that the actual cost is less than $1, and they're still paying a $10 copay. The customer at the Ohio pharmacy paid $15 copay for 5 milligrams of a generic stomach medicine. It's called Penpal, that the pharmacist bought for $2.05. According to the receipts obtained by Bloomberg, the pharmacist was paid $7.22, giving him a profit of $5.17. The remaining $7.78 went back to the benefits manager. Possible because benefit managers take advantage of an opaque market, said Haynes, the Illinois consultant. Pays what? In interviews, some pharmacists estimate clawbacks happen in 10% of their transactions. A survey by more than member National Community Pharmacists Association found that 83% of 640 independent pharmacists had at least. I've got 3 drugstores, so I see a lot of it. David Spence, a Houston pharmacist, said in an interview, "We look at the theft as theft, another way for PMBs to steal." In October in multiple states, and some have since. An investigation by New Orleans television station Fox 8, which featured interviews with Louisiana pharmacists whose voices were obscured. Many plans require pharmacies to collect payment filed and prohibit them from waiving or reducing the amount. They can't even tell their customers about clawbacks, according to the suits. Contracts for profit pharmacists, or try this again. Bloomberg prohibit pharmacists from publicly criticizing benefit managers or suggesting customers obtain the medication cheaper out of pocket. Pharmacists who contract with Optimum RX in 2017 could be terminated for actions detrimental to the provider network, doing anything that disparages it, or trying to steer customers to other coverage by discounted plans. Agreement obtained by Bloomberg. Take it or leave it contract, said Mel Brodsky, who just retired as chief executive officer for Pennsylvania's Keystone Pharmacy Purchasing Alliance, which buys drugs on behalf of independent pharmacies. Is among the 3 largest benefit managers that combine to process 80% of the prescriptions. The other 2, Express Scripts Holdings Company and CVS Caremark, haven't been accused of clawbacks. CVS doesn't use them, it said in a statement. Is so opposed that it explains the practice on its website and promises customers will pay the lowest price possible. Yet, or try this again, pharmacies fear getting removed from reimbursement networks, a potential death blow in smaller communities. Jump at opportunities to inform customers who question their copay amounts, said Spence, who owns 2 pharmacies in Houston. If their copay is high, states are responding. Last year, Louisiana began allowing pharmacists to tell customers how to get the cheapest price for drugs, trumpeting contract gag clauses. In 2020, law prohibited benefit managers and pharmacies from charging customers more than the pharmacy will be paid. Don't know what's going on, said Steve Nelson, a pharmacist in Okeechobee, Florida. We try to educate them with regards to what goes into prescriptions. Got to kind of tiptoe around things. You have that information, so when you go to your pharmacy, you might, whether it's cheaper to buy the, or, go for the real thing, baby. You may be getting screwed in the pocketbook. I have yours off of Natural News, and it says KFC menu found to be loaded with MSG toxins that can damage neurology. And I liked KFC. That up. It says KFC makes much of its secret blend of herbs and spices, but there's a much simpler reason that people tend to find their flavor of the restaurant's chicken so striking. and find themselves craving more. All KFC's chicken is literally marinated in MSG. Or microsodium glutamate is an artificial salt designed to activate the on the tongue that give food a full savory flavor. Occurring glutamate, which is an amino acid found in foods such as anchovies, tomato paste, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and connected with various health problems, more sensitive than others. Of MSG might stem from the fact concentrated form of glutamate, only an amino acid, but also a such chemicals are known as, meaning that initial in low doses, in high doses, they can overstimulate neurons literally to death. G have reported a wide variety of adverse effects ranging from relatively mild but troublesome symptoms such as headache, achiness, digestive upset, nation, to more debilitating symptoms such as nausea, dizziness, migraine, stomach cramps, or depression. Symptoms such as numbness or burning in the mouth, facial numbness, chest tightness or pain, to potentially dangerous symptoms such as damage to the eye or dramatic changes in blood pressure. Kill neurons, particularly in the hypothalamus, due to certain degenerative diseases marked as damage to this region. In a subtler but potentially far-reaching effect, MSG also appears to disrupt the body's cues, leading to overeating. A continues to classify MSGs as generally recognized as safe. MSGs may also carry other health risks that are seen generally. These may include allergens, anemia, tumors, infertility. Receptors are found in the heart and intestinal tract. MSG may also have damaging effects on other organ systems. Additionally, both MSG and its fellow excitotoxin aspartame metabolized by the body, itself a toxin and a carcinogen. MSG, if you want to avoid MSG, you may think it's just as simple as reading the food label and list for KFC chicken sealed on many company websites rather than posted alongside the menu, openly list monosodium glutamate. Consumers have become warier of MSG. Food manufacturers have inverted a number of terms by which to conceal it. Some of these items, such as or yeast, are simply a description of the process used to manufacture MSG. Hydrolyzed or hydrolyzed, whether protein, plant protein, or vegetable protein, is simply another form of MSG. Also be concealed by naming its base ingredients instead, such as yeast extract, plant protein extract, or malt extract. Legally concealed is an unlisted additive in certain foods, including corn oil, spices, flavoring, including beef, chicken, or malt flavoring, stock, textured vegetable protein, otherwise known as TVP, sodium caseinate, or calcium caseinate. Other foods that may contain MSG or other exotoxins include enzymes, carrageenan concentrate, soy protein isolate, and whey protein concentrate. Toxic additives. The best way to avoid exotoxins, real food composed of as few ingredients as possible, preferably ingredients that are also the name of the food. Practitioners say that once you eliminate exotoxins from your diet, the body will naturally purge itself of what remains without the need. According to this, then, we could just eat fresh fruits and vegetables that are genetically modified, and we're being poisoned there. that they use on that stuff. So, how do you win? Here's Off Natural News, and it says oregano essential oil kills antibiotic-resistant superbug without any side effects, urges scientists. Controlled media is silent. It is no longer a secret that antibiotic-resistant bacteria, commonly known as, are on the rise. The medical community gravely concerned. One of the greatest causes fueling this epidemic is overuse of antibiotics. In an attempt to address the problem, the White House released a plan to rate outpatient use of antibiotics by 2020. This is an ambitious and laudable goal, but with the corner likely to become fruition. The problem of antibiotic overuse is incredibly widespread. In fact, a study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, published in the Journal of American Medicine Association, or JAMA, recently confirmed that as many as 30% of all antibiotic prescribed in the U.S. are totally unnecessary. From doctors' rooms and emergency facilities around the country, the researchers determined that about 47 excess prescriptions or excess are written every year for conditions that are totally unaffected by antibiotics. Viral respiratory tract infections, in an effort to patients who feel they need to be given something for their symptoms, when in fact the only treatment is time and their body's own immune system. Doctors put patients at risk of potentially dangerous allergic reactions, and the pathogen, Clostridium, I think is how it's pronounced. But there's a natural solution to the problem that Stravos, consultant in obstetrics and gynecology, Thessaloniki, Greece, wants to remind colleagues of oil of oregano. Sorbitus calls oil of oregano an extremely powerful broad-spectrum antifungal and bactericidal that has no side effects. And best of all, it has never caused bacterial resistance. Of course, as is only to be expected, the mainstream media has done nothing to promote this natural antibiotic. Oil of oregano is so powerful. Its active ingredients, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, carbacarol or carbacarol. 12 researchers out of Utrecht University in the Netherlands published a study in the journal PLOS, and that's PLOS 1, in which they examined the antimicrobial, there we go, properties of carbacarol against the most common foodborne pathogen. Won't even try to pronounce this. No, I'm not even going there. It's some 75-cent two-word. Okay, they concluded that carbacarol, the damaging effects of eukaryotic cells without interfering with healthy cell function. They noted these results broaden the spectrum of antimicrobial activity of carbacarol and support the potential of the compound for use in novel strategies. Another 2012 study, this time by researchers from the University of Connecticut and published in the International Journal of Food Microbiology, looked at the effects of 3 plant-based antimicrobials, carbacarol, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, against other foodborne pathogens. Listeria, all were found to be effective in vitro, and their results suggested that these antimicrobials could potentially be used to control Listeria infection. though they noted that in vitro studies were needed to validate the results. The third study, conducted by the University of Arizona in 2010 and published in the Journal of Food Protection, examined the effects of carvacrol, natural antimicrobial, against antibiotic-resistant salmonella. Both antimicrobials inactivated all pathogens. Being a natural antibiotic, carvacrol has also been proven to protect the liver, a powerful antioxidant. Other health benefits of carvacrol include reducing pain and inflammation. It's also very effective natural treatment for respiratory treatments and asthma. Those suffering from yeast infections or Candida albicans will find it to be a very effective natural remedy. Another problem that haunts millions is cholesterol. It is the oxidation of LDL cholesterol that causes a buildup and narrowing of the arteries. It prevents this process, thereby contributing to normal cholesterol levels. Conducted in Georgia and published in the journal Medical News found that carvacrol blood sugar for those suffering from diabetes, side effects. There are clearly plenty of sound reasons to always keep oil of oregano in your arsenal of natural medications. Do keep oil of oregano on hand. It is a handy thing to have. The next one you have here is off of Breitbart. It says, full of metallic hydrogen in the world lost in Harvard lab. And we'll get this up here. It says the only sample of metallic hydrogen, an incredibly rare metal that was first created by Harvard scientists in January, has been lost in a laboratory accident. As the holy grail of physics, subjecting liquid hydrogen greater than that of the Earth's core. The pressure broke down the molecular hydrogen to transform it into an atomic solid. It has been theorized to perform an important role in future space travel as a new propellant, and when used as a superconductor, revolutionize medicine, energy, and transportation technology. One of the two diamonds used to hold the tiny piece of metal in a vice-like grip was obliterated while the sample was being measured by a laser, and the sample was completely lost in the accident, according to the Independent. Silvera, the lead researcher in the Harvard project, was reported as saying that his heart fell when he realized the situation. He first heard a small clicking noise as the laser traveled over the diamond, indicating its disintegration. The diamond shattered like that. It was so powerful on the surface, it looked like something like that. The professor said, I didn't believe it was a diamond. It was such a fine powder. Given that sample diameter of around a fifth of the average human hair, it has been impossible to find another. It has been impossible to find after the incident. In the wreckage someplace or stable, and it disappeared, it turned into a gas. If it was a stable and if it could withstand the shock of a catastrophic failure, it would still be in the gasket. Has prompted some other scientists to speculate like hydrogen never existed at all. Journal Nature fellow, if in fact Silva had mistaken the reflective nature of the aluminum used to protect the diamonds from the hydrogen for a positive result. That there is no doubt it is metallic. I'm completely confident of the measurement we have made. Currently, no information on when the Harvard scientists will attempt to metallic hydrogen again. I have is off of Breitbart. Waiting for the hamster here. says schools countrywide ordered to stop immigration agents from entering schools without a warrant. The country have decided to take a stand against President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Well, this is going to be simple. All they got to do is cut their funding. It says the Chicago public school districts have told principals in the state to stop immigration agents from entering schools without a warrant, the Daily Mail reported. Chicago Public Schools, the third largest school district in the nation, the boldest stances against Trump's immigration policies out of the school districts in the country that have announced measures to protect students who are living in the United States illegally. UPS does not provide assistance to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in the enforcement of federal civil immigration law. Janice Jackson, Chief Educator Officer for Chicago Public Schools, wrote in a message to Chicago principals on Tuesday. Other schools in Denver, Colorado, and Santa Fe, New Mexico, have taken similar stances agents into the classroom. Santa Fe School District reaffirmed itself as a sanctuary school district, meaning that they will take steps to protect student privacy and refuse entry to immigration agents unless there is lawful contact, CNN reported. We will only allow lawful ICE contact with our students, which includes a warrant, Santa Fe Public School Superintendent said in a statement. Denver Public Schools passed a resolution last week saying that immigration agents will not be granted access to students unless an official produces a search warrant issued by a judge, CNN reported. The resolution stresses Denver Public Schools will do everything in our lawful power to protect our students, confidential information, and ensure that our students' learning environments are not disrupted by immigration enforcement activity, Superintendent Tom wrote on the school system's website. They can expect their funding to get cut. That's all I can say for them. Next one here is off Conservative Tribune. It says students flock to campuses pride after school tells students he can't have an American flag. A number of people in this country who seem to think that expressions of patriotism such as flying the American flag shouldn't be allowed because it might offend some thin-skinned people. Principal of located in Dinwiddie County, Virginia, appears to be one of those people. Dinwiddie student Daniel Nunnally Jr. was asked by the assistant principal, who was not named, to remove the American flag he had flying on his truck, reported. I was in the middle of my second period weight training class, and my assistant principal came in and pulled me out of class and told me that I had to go outside and take both my flags off my truck or anything, Nunnally Nation. Nunnally, who is considered joining the Army Reserves, asked the assistant principal if he should remove the "Don't Tread on Me" flag he had flying. The assistant principal insisted that both the flag, known as the Gadsden flag, and the American flag should be removed. The assistant principal soon learned that was when roughly a dozen students showed up with flags on their cars the next day in protest. Soon the order was rescinded. The assistant principal had asked the student to remove the flag for safety because they might be blocking his view while driving. And they got pictures here of the fella in his truck and his flags. It says, video of it too. It says, Nunnally's father supported the student. My entire family fought and died under that flag, Nunnally Sr. stated. Was indeed all about safe driving. The assistant principal wouldn't have used the word controversy. Was worried about some delicate snowflake being offended by the red, white, and blue. Instead of forcing the patriotic Americans like Nunnally to change their way of life to suit a fraction of the population, people like this assistant principal should teach those who hate this country to either love it or leave it. For you in this episode, if you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news and, well, be entertained. You're not getting charged here. And if you haven't subscribed, do that. That way you'll stay informed. I'll see you in the next episode.